answering any questions that you might have. We're also joined by Dr. Molly Mercado and Virginia Mayo here. Molly, you're finishing up, yeah?
I finished on Monday.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. And Virginia,
I am on my third year, hoping
fantastic.
to defend by the end of this year, but if not, next spring.
Wonderful. That's great. Thank you guys for being here. This is a great opportunity for you all to not only hear from faculty, but hear from someone who's finishing the program and someone who is still in the program and going to finish within a year or so. So just if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You'll get a few different perspectives on kind of the timeline and what to expect. And my name is Nicole. I work in the graduate admissions office, so I'll talk to you a little bit about the application process if you're interested. And we hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Codjo, and thank you so much. I'm also going to record this session starting now, and it'll be available on our website.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nicole. As Nicole said, I'm the director of the program, Dr. Juste Codjo here. We will walk you through this program today. Before we start, just a quick preview of what to expect in this information session. I will provide a few details about the program and the department, the university as a whole. Then Nicole will walk you through the application admission process. We'll then listen to pre-recorded statements from the Office of Financial Aid and the Office for Veterans and Military Affairs here at the university. And there will be time to hear from some of our former and current students. We'll be joined by 3 of them, at least 2 here, and then 1 sent a pre-recorded message. And after that, if you have questions, we would be happy to answer them. So a little bit about the university. We are New Jersey City University. If you don't know the institution, we are a public state-owned institution. So working for the state of New Jersey. We are located in urban area, Jersey City. Those of you who don't know where that is, not far from New York City, just across the river, if you will. We are a minority serving population with about 68% of our student body being Hispanic. We are also serving other minorities as well. We are mid-sized institution with about 8,000 graduate and undergraduate students. The Doctor of Science program, I'm assuming that's why you're here, is part of the Department of Professional Security Studies. So within this department, we offer other degrees as well, including a Bachelor of Science and a Master of Science in multiple areas, national security and cybersecurity being the main ones. And then we also have a concentration in corporate security. Within the department, we have a faculty body composed of 7 full-time faculty members and 30 plus adjunct faculty. And we are still growing, still hiring people, of course. Good thing about our department is that we have been recognized as a center of academic excellence by 2 major institutions, one being the National Security Agency / Department of Homeland Security in the area of cyber defense. And then the second institution that has recognized us as a CAE, Center of Academic Excellence, is the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. So for people who graduate from our department, this is a big deal in the job market. Now let's focus more on the specific program while you're here, the Doctor of Science program in Civil Security Leadership and Management. We are a little bit different from traditional doctoral programs. One major difference is that we are a 3-year executive program. 3-year meaning we have designed the program so that people can complete it within 3 years. Executive level program because we train people who are hoping to be involved in executive level positions later. One thing that distinguishes us from other traditional doctoral program is that we are a cohort-based program. Students come in as a group, and then they take classes every semester as a group. If for some reason one student comes in and then cannot complete a course in a particular semester, they have to wait a year until the next cohort comes at that level. So that's how it works here in this program. We also are heavily composed of working professionals. Our students are scholars, are practitioners, and then they come here and learn about the scholar approach that will make them a scholar practitioner. They learn to do research here and apply that to real world problems. That's also something that's different. We are not purely research oriented, rather we learn research and apply it to real world problems and suggest solutions to policymakers and practitioners. Now, if you, for instance, are interested in cybersecurity, you will certainly not take classes in cybersecurity while in the program, but you can still become an expert in cybersecurity because the program is designed so that you can conduct research on your topic of interest. And it is through that research during the 3 years that you will eventually become an expert on a specific topic, cybersecurity or any other topic, okay? And we give our students freedom to research any topic that they choose, as long as it is related to the broader security field. Also, something that is different from other programs is that we are a hybrid program. Every semester, we have mandatory in-person residencies. We have 2 weeks in the summer and 2 weekends in the fall and the spring. I'll go over the schedule later. And beyond those residency events, the rest of the courses will take place online, asynchronously, meaning you don't have to meet via Zoom. You complete assignments on Blackboard and participate in discussions on Blackboard. The next cohort will be known as the 14th learning community. That means that we've had 13 groups so far, and the 14th will be joining in July. And we'll have 3 years until 2028 to complete the degree. If you were to join the program as a member of that learning community at C14, your timeline will be divided into 2 major phases. The first phase will focus on core requirement classes, and I'll go over those in a minute, for a total of 30 credit hours. And then in the second phase, you will be focusing on or taking classes still, but that focus on specifically your dissertation chapters. So phase 1, let's talk about phase 1 a little bit. Again, LC14 will join in July. When they come, they will take 2 classes in current security issues. That's when we explore different topics and they start thinking about a possible topic for their own research, dissertation research. And then in the fall, they will take 2 other classes, 1 in policy and 1 in budget. And in spring next year, they will take 2 courses, one both in emergency management, but taught by 2 different professors. And again, let me add here that all these classes are not taking place simultaneously. So in each semester, you take the first course and then the second one will follow, okay? So they're consecutive. And then the second year will start next year with the summer, 2 classes in the summer in executive communication, and then followed by 2 courses in the fall in data analysis. This is when, for the first time, students will be formally introduced to research methods, even though in all the other classes, you will learn a little bit about methodologies, but in the fall of your second year, you will focus more on methodology. So at the end of this phase 1, you will have 2 key milestones. that will decide whether you can continue in the program or not. And the first one is the comprehensive exam, which will evaluate your knowledge in all 5 areas covered in this first 5 semesters, okay? So this is a defining moment in the program. You will have 2 attempts to take the exam. If you fail, then you cannot continue in the program. If you pass, then you move from being a doctoral student to becoming a doctoral candidate. And then the second one is your proposal defense. Throughout these 5 semesters, you will be also exploring existing research on the topic of your interest. And then at the end of the 5th semester, after you take the methodology class, we expect you to be able to propose something for your own research. And that will be submitted to a committee of 3 faculty members, and they will read your proposal, and then you sit before them, you defend it. If they agree, then you can move to phase 2, which is the focus on your dissertation. Dissertations are like book styles. They're like books, 5 chapters total, okay? In the spring of your 2nd year, after you defend your proposal, you will take 2 courses, and those 2 courses will help you flesh out your proposal into dissertation chapters. So 3 chapters in spring. And then in the summer, the remaining 2 chapters, chapters 4 and 5, you will take 2 other classes to help you write those chapters. So we assist you all the way until you finish writing the book style dissertation. And in your last semester in the program, will be fall of your 3rd year, you will take 2 additional courses, and those will be your last courses in the program. And those are designed to help you prepare for your dissertation defense, which is the most important requirement of the program. If you pass the defense, that's when you become a doctor. If you don't, then you have a second chance, but then after that, that's it. You'll be known as an ABD, all but dissertation, for the rest of your life. Hopefully, that's not the case. But yeah, so if for some reason at the end of your 3rd year, you are not able to complete your dissertation and graduate in the spring of your 3rd year, then you have the possibility of remaining in the program, but you will not be taking classes. You'll be at home completing your dissertation research, but you'll be required to enroll in 1 maintenance of matriculation course until you finish your dissertation. You have 7 years to complete your degree if you, for some reason, you cannot finish in 3 years, okay? And of course, the successful dissertation defense is the key milestone of this phase. If you have questions, please just write them down. We'll get to Q&A in a minute. Now, let me give you an overview of the schedule for the 1st year for the next cohort. Again, they will join in the summer. Classes will start on July 7th. That first week, there will be 4 days of classes, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. on our main campus in Jersey City, New Jersey. And then in the 2nd week, Monday through Thursday, also 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. We typically have breakfast at 8 a.m. So that's the only time when you'll be required to attend class on weekdays. In the fall, it's going to be weekends, Friday evening through Sunday noon. So if you work on weekdays, you won't have an issue in the fall. First weekend will be in September. Second one will be in October. And then in the spring, it's going to be the same schedule as in the fall, 2 weekends, 1 in January, 1 in March, okay? And then the cycle will continue in the summer of year 2 until you complete the courses. Decisive item here is money, of course. Studying can be expensive. Here, the rates that you're seeing are for the current academic year. So for the next cohort, it's going to be probably a little bit over what you've seen here, because those rates change every academic year. For this academic year, people who are taking classes right now, they're paying about $8,085 per semester. So by the end of the program, it's going to be about $64,682 total. And this does not include transportation and lodging when you come to the residencies, as I said, which are mandatory or and in person in Jersey City. So you'll be paying for your own lodging, paying for your own transportation. And with that, I will turn over to Ms. Leibowitz to talk to you a little bit about the application and admission processes. Nicole?
Thank you so much, Dusty. Hi, everybody. I know that was a lot of really good information for you. As Dr. Codjo said, we will have time for Q&A. I just actually posted the link for the tuition in case you have questions or follow up about some of the tuition rates. So that's in the chat. You can always take a look at that. And right now, I'll just kind of briefly talk to you about the application process to apply for this particular program. So I'm just going to go over the requirements really quickly, and then we can, talk a little bit more. I'll also post those links in the chat as well. So if you are interested in applying, what the grad admissions office does require is a completed application. I will provide the application fee waiver for you all for attending today, so we can waive your fee. We do require a minimum of a 1,000 word essay, and really what you want to make sure you're focusing on are the goals and objectives for pursuing this particular program. And if you can also incorporate a description of what we have here, a real world security issue or problem that you might be interested in exploring. The reason why we're asking for this is because it helps the committee kind of figure out where you want to go within the program, and also if this is something that can be further explored once you start. And they're there to support those ideas that you have. So they're interested in understanding what your idea is to kind of tackle once you're in this particular field, and then they can kind of nurture that idea and really turn it into a dissertation for you throughout the program. So if you can focus on those things, goals and objectives, and a particular issue or problem that you might be interested in exploring within the program. We do need official transcripts, as this is a terminal degree. They do have to be official. If you are an F1 student or you have international transcripts, they do need to be evaluated by a NACIS agency, and they have to be course by course evaluations. So if you have questions about NACIS members, I'll also post that in the chat and we can talk about that as well. We do require 2 letters of recommendation. One should be professional, meaning from a prior or current supervisor or boss, and the other would be best if it were academic, so a current or former professor. And Dr. Codjo, because we tend to get this question a lot, if students don't have access to a former professor, is it acceptable for them to have 2 professional letters of rec, just as long as obviously they're not personal recommendation letters from a family member or friend?
Yes, yes. If they cannot, for some reason, find a professor, they can submit from the supervisors at work or other professionals.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And then we also do require a professional resume or CV. So you always just want to make sure that that's up to date, all of your current information. And when we say professional resume, we're talking about your academic and professional background, okay? And then if you do need to take the English language proficiency exam, for instance, if you are perhaps an F1 student from a non-English speaking country, we do have the option for you to submit maybe a Duolingo test or TOEFL or IELTS. We have all kinds of criteria on that link there. And again, I will post all of this in the chat just so that you have that information for you, okay? Any questions so far about the application process? It's pretty clear cut. A lot of our admissions criteria is pretty much consistent throughout. A lot of the time, the only thing that might be different is the essay or what might be required within the letters of rec. So, okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. Now we will hear from the Office of Financial Aid. As I said earlier, this is a pre-recorded message from Dr. Lydia Rodriguez-Carter, who's the director of the Financial Aid Office. And with that, let's hear what she has to say. She is the expert on this, so her statements or explanations might be useful for those of you who are hoping to get financial aid.
We can't hear the audio.
Okay. Sorry about that. Let me just share my screen and then we should be able to hear it.
I think you have to click, there's a little check mark. Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
Located on the second floor of Hepburn Hall.
Should be fine now, right?
212. We could be reached either by walk-in, email, or by telephone. If you wish to have an appointment with any of the financial aid counselors regarding any questions you may want to have about financial aid, you can request an appointment by emailing the financial aid email, and in the subject line put appointment requested, indicate that you want Zoom or telephone or in person, and someone will reach out to you and make that appointment for you. Always put your student ID if you have one. If you don't have one and you are just a prospective student, just let us know that so that we know not to look for you in the system and that we're trying to guide you to what things are available for you or if you have questions regarding the financial aid process. So it's very exciting. You're coming into a brand new year of 24-25. And with that, there is going to be a lot of new things going on the FAFSA that may not affect you because it's not really affecting students who do student loans. It really is affecting students who do the Pell Grant. But because of that, the FAFSA has been delayed. So for a lot of you, that means you won't be able to complete a FAFSA until after December 31st of 2023, because that's when it'll be available. You only need to complete the FAFSA if you want to be considered for federal student loans. If you don't want to do student loans or you are going to pay for your tuition some other way, then you don't need to complete a FAFSA. But if you're going to finance it by the federal process, complete it in time for that. By the time classes begin, you have your award package. If you do not have a FAFSA ID, or maybe when you did your master's, you had one, and it's been a while, please go there now to reactivate your FAFSA ID. The federal government is recommending that everybody have their FAFSA ID before the FAFSA is available. It takes about 3 days for them to validate a person's ID, and you want to make sure that if there's anything extra you need to do, that you do it in time for you to complete the FAFSA. Our school code is on the screen, is 002613. You'll need that so that we can get a copy of that FAFSA. We need the FAFSA to be able to determine how much federal student loans you can receive. We also need to know what your loan history is because we need to make sure that you are still eligible to receive the student loans. So the student loans for graduate student is the unsubsidized loan. The maximum you can get annually is $20,500. That's about $10,250 per semester, which usually is enough to cover the fall and the spring, your direct costs from the school, if that's what you want to do and how you want to pay. If you need a little extra for transportation or lodging, we can absolutely consider you for a Graduate Plus. You do need to complete an additional application on studentaid.gov, letting them know that you're interested in that because there is a credit check that is pulled. It is called a soft credit check, which means that they're looking to see if you have anything delinquent. And typically, if you don't, they approve it. And then that credit check is really good for almost 180 days. You indicate how much you want. If you want the max, we'll let you know what the max is, and then you can go from there to decide if that's what you want. We always tell students to borrow what you need, plan, determine what it is that you're going to be needing so that you can borrow what you need for the full year. You have to have at least 6 credits in this program. It's already created in that way, so you do qualify. But if at any time you fall below 6 credits, it does mean that you won't qualify for the federal loans, because the federal government does stipulate that a student be part-time, and 6 credits is part-time status. We do have other methods of payment. We have a payment plan. The Bursar's office is the office that you will need to start that with. We ask students that if they're thinking about a payment plan, that they start early in the process. For the fall is in August, for the spring is in December. That gives you more months to divide the amount that you want to put on a payment plan, so that you're paying in small allocations. If you're going to be paying some other method, then you can let the Bursar know how that method is, so that they are aware and they are able to work with you to make sure that you're not negatively impacted in any way. But they do expect that you have some sort of payment with the Bursar's office by a certain time to be allowed to continue to register at the school. The Bursar email is there if you want more information. There's also information on the New Jersey City University website. And Dr. Codjo, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't say your name incorrectly. He did talk about the cost. While the cost that he mentioned is the direct cost, what we will charge you, we do come up with a cost of education for each student that consists of room and board, transportation, miscellaneous, books, and supplies. We will let you know what that is so that you can probably plan. I mean, the loans are enough to cover your direct costs, but if you need anything additional, then you let us know so that we can tell you what that cost of education is, and you can go ahead and borrow additional more. We tell our students plan accordingly. This is a big step you're taking, and you want to make sure that you're not negatively impacted in any way. So think about what it is you're going to do for your first year, that whatever that is, you're going to be doing that for the next 3 to 4 years. Make sure you have that FAFSA ID before you complete that FAFSA. Please look at your emails. Make sure that that email is an active email and that you're continuously looking, because they may ask you to do something additional or ask you to come back in to complete something. They will reach out to you once they've processed your FAFSA, or if there is something wrong. Also, at this time, collect your documentation. Whatever income documentation you're using, collect it. Whatever information you're using to complete that FAFSA, collect it somewhere that if you need to supply it to the office, you're able to do so, because it's at your fingertips. Check notifications. Sometimes additional documentation is required from our office before we can proceed. So please check whatever email you have on file is how we're going to communicate with you. If you have not heard from us and you know it's close to the beginning of school, please reach out to us just to do a check, make sure that everything is okay before classes begin. FERPA. FERPA on file is very important. You are the student and you are the most important person in our world. But in your world, you have many people who are very important and maybe are invested in you pursuing this new journey. If they're going to be calling the office, calling for information, or assisting you in any way, payments, taking out loans, co-signing loans, whatever, please put them on your FERPA so that when they call the office, we can freely talk to them. It sometimes becomes a little frustrating sometimes when people call and we can only discuss general information because we don't have a FERPA on file. So if you have a significant other, a partner, a relative, whoever that person may be, who is going to take this journey with you and be your resource, make sure that they have a FERPA on file so we can discuss freely with them anything they may want to know. Again, important to review your emails, make sure that everything is okay. Sometimes it may go to junk mail the first time, so you want to make sure to move it so that everything continuously goes into a good folder or a good email inbox. Disbursements are not done until 3 to 4 weeks into the semester, and that's very important. Because if you are doing refunds and that refund is how you're going to be doing certain things, that's when your refund will be actually sent to you shortly thereafter, not the day of the actual disbursement, because the Bursar does need to do their part, and that is to review it. So please plan accordingly. Realize that it's going to be 3 to 4 weeks before any actual credit may be refunded to you. If you need to buy textbooks, they do allow you to be able to put some monies on your e-card so that you can buy textbooks from the bookstore, etc. However, but if the refund is something you need for other expenses, that could take a while before you can receive it. And again, you're doing the payment plan, think early. The quicker you're on it, the more months you have. This way, you're not having these big payments that you need to do. Again, thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope to see you around campus. Thank you.
All right, so this was from the Office of Financial Aid. Next is the Office of Military and Veteran Services. We have veterans and current military personnel who take this or who participate in the program. And usually it's good for them to hear from the office in charge of these issues and then see how they can support those students. So let's hear from Ms. Elaine Gargiulo, who's the director of this particular office.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Elaine Gargiulo. I am the Director of Military and Veteran Services here on campus. Thank you, Dr. Codjo and Sachi, for inviting me. I was invited because this is a very attractive program for military students, especially with the GI Bill and the New Jersey National Guard waiver program. So I'll spend a few minutes talking about that. Before I talk about the benefits, I just want to say that I have been with the school for a very long time. I was here at the inception of this program. I am very fond of this department. I have nothing but wonderful things to say about the National Security Studies programs, all bachelor's, master's, and the doctoral program. I am happy to say that the very first graduate of the doctoral program is an Army veteran. Dr. Alakba was the first to embark on this journey back in 2012 when it started. And since then, we've had 9 people complete the program that have a military background. So we are thrilled, very proud of all of them. We currently have about 8 right now that are military that are in the program. One who hopefully will be defending her dissertation in a couple months, graduating to become number 10, and hopefully more that I'll be hearing. And hopefully, if some of you are military, I'd like to see you join the program. We've had all branches in this program. The main benefits that tend to be used are the New Jersey National Guard Benefits Program and the Post 9/11 GI Bill. In terms of the New Jersey National Guard, the waiver program covers the tuition. So as long as you're in good standing with either the New Jersey Army or National Guard, every semester you submit a waiver, your tuition will be waived. And the only thing that you are responsible for paying are the student fees, which based on what we saw earlier is roughly $700 a semester for fees. Everything else is completely waived. In terms of the post 9/11 GI Bill, depending on your entitlement, the program is fully covered. It is treated as a full-time program with 6 credits. It is treated as in residence for BAH housing purposes, as long as you're taking the 6 credits. Because of the requirement that you meet on campus at least once per term physically, that meets the requirement for in-residence coursework. So $3,800 a month is the current BAH if you are 100% eligible for the post 9/11 GI Bill. In the beginning of the semester, once we get all your paperwork and get you situated, we notify the Office of Students Accounts that you are a veteran receiving this benefit. They will put a hold on your account so you're not penalized or dropped for non-payment. And then once the semester begins, we will charge the Department of Veterans Affairs for the cost of your tuition, and then they'll pay us. If you are receiving any type of financial aid, the financial aid will be released once the GI Bill money comes in and pushes it out of your accounts. Your book stipend will be activated as long as we get you enrolled in the program earlier on. The book stipend is released 2 weeks before the start of term. And then you will start to see monthly housing payments at the end of each month. In order to receive the GI Bill, you have to complete a month to get a month because they pay in arrears. So those are the two most popular programs that are used for our veterans. I have an assistant. Her name is Ms. Randy Fontanez. I'm going to drop our information into the chat. So if you do have any questions, I'm also going to stay on the line till the end. I'm happy to answer any questions about the program. Let me just make sure that I told you everything I have to say, because Dr. Codjo, you know me, I could go on and on forever. Yeah, I think that's the bulk of it. But like I said, I'll drop our information in the chat. If you are military, please make sure that you reach out, let us know. We're happy to help guide you through the process. And thank you once again for inviting me, Dr. Codjo. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Gargiulo would not be answering your question today because she's not here. This is pre-recorded. With that, we'll now hear from our former and current students. We'll start with a pre-recorded message from Dr. John Ward, who defended his dissertation in the fall of 2024 and is now a doctor, obviously. So he has a message for you. Let me just play it and then see what he has to say.
Hello. Welcome to the New Jersey City University doctoral program. First, let me congratulate you on your willingness to examine our doctoral program and take that next step in your academic and professional journey. My name is John Ward. My professional credentials are somewhat eclectic. Currently, I am the Deputy Commissioner of Training and Development for New York City Department of Correction. That is the third largest jail system in the United States. Just prior to that, I was the Chief of Training for New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission Police. Prior to that, I've held positions as the Chief of Ridgewood, New Jersey Police, Chief of Stroud Area Regional Police, Chief and Director of Public Safety for Queensborough Community College, Commanding School Police Officer and Head of School Security for a school district in Pennsylvania, worked with DA's offices in Pennsylvania. I've been the coordinator of criminal justice, cybersecurity, and fire sciences for Sussex Community College, and currently as an adjunct professor for several universities, teaching everything from graduate to undergraduate. So, pretty eclectic background. I just recently, as of September of last year, successfully defended for my doctorate. My dissertation examined the civilian active shooter model, blended learning model for civilian active shooter training. And it was in the doctoral process, when I first entered into the process, I was the Chief of Ridgewood Police in New Jersey. And one of the things that drove me to not only wanting to continue my degree path, but also to look at actually solving problems. And one of the problems I saw were immense disconnects with siloing and, how do we make people safer? And it was through that doctoral process that I was able to narrow it down in my research to determine what gave the most potential, the biggest bang for the buck. And that was in civilian active shooter awareness and training. So that was my deep dive. My doctoral path was sprinkled with all sorts of professional and life challenges. What I will say about that is that the members of the doctoral program worked with me through those challenges, and I was able to successfully complete and defend my dissertation and finally get my manuscript published. What has that meant for me? Just even in being in the ABD status opened so many doors. But I honestly believe that it was the work that I had to do and the treating everything evidence-based, making sure that what I was doing and what my research and what I wanted to accomplish was based on peer-reviewed, evidence-based data. So that the choices I was making, not only in the program, but also professionally, allowed me to make sure that I was giving my members and the communities the best level of policing and public safety that they could possibly have. And that's really what we're supposed to be doing this. And whether it's public safety, whether it's corporate, whether it's nonprofit, we have a stewardship, and that stewardship requires us to make sure that we are delivering the best that we can. So I would say that the doctoral program has helped me both personally and professionally. Professionally, opened up a tremendous amount of doors. I get recruited across the country. I'm happy where I am right now, but it does help. And then again, why I would recommend this program, it's challenging you, but if you're going to make a difference, let's make a difference for the right way. And I would say that the members of the program really went out of their way to help me get through a lot of hurdles to achieve and get to that end goal line. So, if you're going to do it, you want people that stick by you and help you along the way. So good luck, and I wish you the best.
All right. Thank you to Dr. Ward. Now we'll turn to our two speakers. Before we get to questions, let me just stop this for a while. Yeah, we'll hear first from Dr. Molly Mercado, who just completed her dissertation a couple of days ago, I would say, so March 31st. So our newest graduate in the program. And then she'll be followed by Miss Virginia Mayo, who is finishing her second year, entering the third year. And hopefully next year at this time, she might be speaking to our next prospective students as Dr. Mayo. We'll see. But Molly.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Molly Mercado. I successfully defended my dissertation on Monday night. My research is on active school shooting and metacognition. So I really want to just talk a little bit about the program, my experience, and of course, we'll answer any questions anybody may have. So Dr. Codjo designs this program, a very specific way. This program is set up for success. Dr. Ward, as we just heard, really summarized everything. The faculty here bends over backwards for you. They want everybody to succeed. But a huge part of it is you, putting, in the work, the time. It takes a lot of sacrifice in this program. I know I sacrificed a lot. And now I'm on the other side of it, and I'm super grateful for this opportunity, this program, my committee, Dr. Codjo. I can't say enough good things, and I'm not just saying that. But it's really about, finding what you're interested in and listening to, the faculty because, they're teaching and guiding you, but also, putting in the work and, taking the extra step for yourself to, fully develop these skills, apply them, and, put it towards a manuscript and something that, you're very proud of. I could say now, I'm so proud of the work that I done in this program. I finished under a little under 3 years. July would be my 3-year mark. But I just can't say enough great things about this program. And I really hope to see all of you guys, and I'm really excited for your journey. If you do decide to commit to this program. But yeah, so everybody is here for you to support you and guide you, your cohort, your professors, everybody, they're rooting for you in this program. They want everybody to win, and, they're going to do everything they can to get you to that, next step, that next level. So yeah, I'm looking forward to any questions that you may have. I could also put my email in the chat, if somebody's a little shy, or reach out to Dr. Codjo directly if, you want to ask me anything specific. And I'm all ears and I'm super excited for you guys to join and be LC14.
Thank you, Dr. Mercado. Let's now hear from Ms. Virginia Mayo.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. By way of an introduction and background, let me just provide you some information about myself. I graduated with a double bachelor's degree in computer engineering and information technology from NJIT in Newark. I went on to receive my master's in engineering management, also at NJIT. I'm telling you guys, I looked far and wide for a doctorate program that would suit, the next stage of my career. I was looking at any type of cybersecurity doctorate, and I just couldn't believe it that a school like NJCU had everything I needed. I live literally less than 10 minutes away, and I'm thinking to myself, no, it's got to be like a school that's in Washington, D.C. or in Texas that would be a better fit, but it just was not. And I've been reviewing the curriculum for probably over 5 years before I decided to jump right in 2023. And I will tell you that the focus and each and every single semester and the classes you take really builds up towards writing your manuscript. And I reflect back at when I started in July of 2023, and how, I mean, it was so many information, so overwhelming. But in retrospect, after 2 years, I realized how it's the process, and trust the process. With each class, you're beginning to kind of go from your practitioner background into now thinking like a scholar. And I think that was a key thing that I keep in mind. Oh, what I also do for a living and how it ties into my what I'm studying is I'm Vice President of Security and Resiliency Architecture. So a lot of really hands-on practitioner work for data protection, cybersecurity, cyber resilience. And one of the things I quickly gravitated to, and this was probably the spring of my first year, I had Dr. Krantz as my professor, was about leadership, where in cybersecurity and cyber resilience, there's so many technical blueprints around cyber incident response, so many R&D, research and development around new technical solutions and tools for how to speed up a cyber incident recovery. But what I always thought was missing as a practitioner, I saw it as a huge gap, was the lack of more human-centric behavioral type of training that we offer our incident responders and commanders that would, help with the labor shortage in this area, help with training more people to build the bridge from traditional emergency management people into cybersecurity. And so with that in mind, I, continued on, read the literature guided by the professors, and came through. My thesis is on decision making in during a cyber incident response, because it's, at the end of the day, it's a person that is leading that recovery. And it's that rapid decision making that they make under pressure situation that minimizes the outage and the data loss of, your customer. So I thought it's a topic that it really keeps me up at night. And I think that was also one of the best advice that I got coming into the program, is really select a topic that you will be obsessed about and would not mind, missing, staying up, in the evening, reading literatures around whatever it is you're studying. If you have that, I mean, I always tell people, always say, how can you manage a full-time career? Oh, and I have 3 kids, by the way, and I'm in the thick of things. I've got a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So you can imagine all of the different ways that, you have to get the work done and get the work in. I mean, you have to be obsessed with what you're studying. And again, I'm a very structured person. And like I said, each semester, each series of class that I've taken, and every professor just so invested in you to be successful. And, the way that you're learning is just really like evolving. And then by the end of those 2 years, you're getting ready to write your manuscript. For me, I really feel like everything has led me to here. There was no like, how sometimes you're taking classes, you're like, this is, I don't see how I'm gonna use this for anything, or this is not relevant to really what my end game is. Each and every single class, every discussions with the professor has led me to be able to complete my manuscript. So it's really so valuable. It's been so valuable to have the structure that Dr. Codjo and team has created here. It's really going to lead you to being able to complete your dissertation and defend it when the time comes. So that's all.
Thank you, Ms. Mayo. We really appreciate it. With that, we'll open up for questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand or just unmute yourself and jump in.
Hey, Dr. Codjo. I was just
Yes,
wondering,
Brian. Hello.
how are you? Just
Good.
wondering when the essay is due for this cohort, if I were to make it into this cohort.
So we and Nicole may jump in at any time, but we have until officially April 15, but we have late applications until May 15, correct?
May 8th.
May 8th, okay.
Yes. We can extend it if you prefer to May 15th. And we'll
Yes.
just change it on the website. So officially it'll be May 15th.
Okay. So yes, Brian, you have until May 15th to submit everything, including the essay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And again, in the essay, the idea is for us to know, as Nicole explained earlier, where your interests are in terms of research. And you heard from our speakers today, Dr. Ward and Dr. Mercado are now both experts on active school shooting. But they're looking at different angles of active school shooting. And you heard from Ms. Mayo, she's interested in cyber incident response. Right, so that's what we expect, our students to become. Have an area where they can develop expertise and be called an expert on. So for any of you considering the program, actually you're here because you've certainly considered it. So start thinking about a real world problem that you would like to be, called an expert on, so that if people are considering solutions to that problem, they can call you. If policymakers are considering solutions on active school shooting, I'm sure they will call Dr. Mercado and Dr. Ward. Same with those companies trying to put in place policies for cyber incidents response. They may call, Miss Mayo. That's how it goes. Okay, so that will be the key to getting accepted, is for us to be able to see that you have a strong interest, strong passion for something that is going on out there. Amel, Pascal, Brian, and Gada, any questions?
Hello, good morning again. I'm Armel. I'm currently working with the UN Department of Safety and Security in Mali,
Okay.
ex-military, and I had the privilege of meeting Dr. Codjo in 2011 in San Antonio, Texas. And let's just say, for me, it's I happen to know one of your graduate, Dr. Opon Morfo, and he told me about the doctoral program. So in terms of medium-term thinking, I'm actually considering pursuing this very highly prestigious program. And thank you all for the wonderful information you provided to me. And it was really helpful. I just came across the Zoom link on LinkedIn and I decided to attend the session, kind of start preparing myself and gather all the tools I need to jump into it. If I may, I would just ask if you have a specific, accommodation for student who wants to pursue your program, but they are not US based. If you can maybe touch upon it when it comes to mandatory resident portions of it, or even financial support or this type of thing. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Amel. And again, Dr. Codjo Pomafo graduated from the program in 2022, originally from Ghana, and now, leading a department or division in Mali for the UN. So the question we're asking about specific accommodations for international students, this is something we are still working on, because officially we are not able to sponsor international students to get an F1 visa. We typically accept international students who have, for instance, who work for the United Nations here, or maybe you as a current worker for the United Nations, you may have a type of visa that would allow you to travel to the US under G1 visa or G2 visa. I'm not familiar. If that's the case, I think that is something we can certainly discuss if you have access to come to the United States without us sponsoring you. So let's keep this conversation, beyond today's session, if you wish. But definitely, as long as the person has access to visas that would allow them to come to the United States without us sponsoring them or having to sponsor them, we should be able to figure something out. Okay. And then again, we're working on other types of accommodations as well, as part of our broader policy regarding the residencies. But that's something we can only discuss on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, thank you. It's great.
All right. Okay. Nicole, did you want to add anything?
No, that's very accurate. Unfortunately, the reason why specifically we're unable to accept students seeking an F1 visa for this particular program is because there's a certain amount of courses that have to be in person for F1 seeking students. And this program, aside from the dates that Dr. Codjo mentioned, is primarily online. So it doesn't satisfy the I-20 requirements for F1 students. So unfortunately, that is the reason. But it is something that we're continuing to have conversations about, because we do tend to get a lot of international students interested in this particular program with good reason. So we will certainly keep you updated. It was a great question. And what I will do is leave my email in the chat, just in case you want to follow up with me if we have any updates, okay?
Sure, that would be great. Thank you.
Sure.
And Amel also asked about tuition assistance or scholarship. Unfortunately, we do not offer scholarships, not
Right.
even for national students. They have to apply for financial aid with the federal government.
Yes.
The program.
We do have something called graduate assistantships that is available to degree-seeking students. I do believe that they are open to doctoral students as well. However, if you are an international student, whether you have your F1 visa or your J4, J1, I think, you are not eligible to apply for a graduate assistantship until after your first year of coursework. So that can be a little bit tricky, but it is an option where students receive a stipend and they also work on campus, or work for a department on campus. It could be remote work, but you get a chunk of your tuition that is paid for, and you receive a stipend as well. So that certainly is an option. But I know that for this particular year, I think the application deadline is closed, so it would have to be for the 26-27 academic year. So, but yes, loans would probably be your best option. And you would want to kind of walk through the steps that Dr. Carter mentioned before from financial aid.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm assuming there are no further questions. Pascal, did you have a question? I see you unmuted yourself.
Yes, actually for now no question. But if I have any question, I think I will have to email or I'll contact you to ask for that. But for I'm actually driving actually, so for now no question actually. But I will ask if anyone comes up with anything. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So all of you feel free to email us. So this is my email on the screen, jcodjo@njcu.edu, and then for Nicole, you have at the bottom here. So you can email us with questions anytime, and then we'll respond and take it from there. All right.
Yes. And before you go, if you do decide to apply, please use the code GRAD25 and we'll waive your application fee. Okay, it's just GRAD 25 right before you submit your application, and we'll be able to waive that $55 fee and you'll be all set.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Mercado. Thank you, Ms. Mayo, for joining us. And thank to Amel, Pascal, Brian, and Ghana, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thank you
weekend,
very much.
everybody.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Bye-bye.